Welcome back. The 8th National ICT Summit is set to take place in Windhoek, Namibia from September 9th to 11th, 2024 under the theme Building Resilience to Adapt or Die in the Era of Digital Transformation and Artificial Intelligence. Hundreds of ICT experts and institutions will converge at this premier event to discuss the latest trends, challenges and opportunities in the industry. Now, to get more details on the summit and the official launch that took place earlier today, I'm joined by MICT spokesperson Shoki Kanjimi. Shoki, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Nina, and good evening to your viewers. Thank you for having me once again.
Always a pleasure to have you with us.
Yeah.
Shoki, talk to us about the overall main objectives of this year's ICT Summit and how this theme, building resilience to adapt or die in the era of digital transformation and AI, ties into these objectives.
You know, I call the National ICT Summit as the biggest event on the ICT calendar of Namibia, because basically this is a platform that we have created for the public and the private sector to come together, to collaborate, to discuss issues that are pertinent to the industry, that are perhaps hampering the progress, or to look at opportunities that are in the sector that can really assist us in terms of moving further together. We call it a sectoral event. It's not one that is run by government, but it's a collective one that really different stakeholders come on board to ensure that we really host a successful summit like the National ICT Summit. When you look at the theme, it focuses on two very critical issues, which is digital transformation, artificial intelligence. Of course, when we speak about digital transformation, Namibia is working towards an e-government where we want to digitalize government services. Of course, you have seen some of our agencies, offices and ministries already taking the lead in terms of, for instance, the passports, applying for a passport online. Already we have started with that. Also, as a Ministry of Information, you know, you cannot digitalize your services without having proper network reception across the country. We have really dedicated around about 30 million this year to build around 15 towers in underserved and unserved areas, so that really in areas like Konene that do not have good network connectivity can actually be upgraded to a certain stage where they're able to connect and really maximize on the opportunities that the digital platforms have to present. Then when we come to AI, of course, this is a big one that is very topical. People are like, no, it's perhaps going to take over our jobs. So we want to discuss issues around whether this perception is indeed true. But we must say, I think it's very important to use this platform to say that AI is not here to disrupt your job opportunities, but it's here to enhance your opportunities, your jobs and all that. You know, you look at different sectors like the health sector, they are making use of AI to just improve their work. You look at the agricultural sector. I mean, now at the moment, some farmers are using AI to at least predict the climate of their area, so that, of course, they are well prepared in terms of crop production, in terms of their farming with cattle and so forth. So quite a lot will be discussed at the summit around those two major topics.
Are you at this point able to share some details on the format of the summit? Will there be keynotes, panel discussion, workshops, networking events? What is the expected attendance, and of course, who is the target audience?
The target audience is the Namibian public, ICT leaders, ICT players, policy makers, everyone, basically, because technology impacts all of us. Of course, when you look at the summit's format, it's a 3-day summit. Firstly, of course, we have a lot of different panel discussions around different issues. Of course, prior to the main summit itself, we will share the program just to give the public an understanding of what they can expect. Second day is, of course, also workshops just to get to understand what different companies are doing around issues of digital transformation. We are speaking of CRAN now through government that is setting up what we call the Universal Access Fund. This is a fund that was paused due to litigation. But finally, we have won this case in court, and now we are able to use some of these levies for mobile operators to ensure that we roll out network connectivities across the country in areas which mobile operators do not deem as commercial. So we will also have that. Then the third day is one special one for for me, because this is a day dedicated to young people. Young people are coming to showcase their innovation. This is their platform to really also network, because we are bringing local and international industry leaders to also come and see what young people are doing, their innovation, and see how they can support them. I mean, when you track from last year's summit, many managed to get internships, many managed to develop a one-stop shop for government, for instance, where you don't need to always type in on Google Ministry of Home Affairs. You just type in the government portal. So hopefully during this coming summit, we will be launching that one-stop shop, because of course we are moving towards an e-government. Also, the National Digital Strategy will be launched during that. So there's quite a lot of activities lined up for the main summit.
You mentioned something earlier concerning what Namibia needs to do in order to be digitally transformed, and that the ministry has allocated, this 30 million to setting up these network towers in areas that are most needed. So infrastructure is really, really important. But what are some of the other challenges and barriers that you believe we need to address to see Namibia fully digitally transformed?
Digital literacy is one that is really, really a challenge in our country. I mean, if you go into our remote areas, people still cannot even operate a computer. So these are some of the issues that we are faced with. But when you look at our regional offices across the country, we have introduced what we call basic computer literacy programs. These programs are there to aid and assist our people just with the basics of how to operate a device like a computer, a telephone, and so forth. And we are really thankful for our partners like UNFP, the government of Estonia, really to come and train some of our people and our trainers to really go out in the remote areas. I think even if you checked on one of our regional offices, they have already sent out a call out in Rundu to say, please come and join this intake where we will be training you. So really, these are some of the issues, because if a person cannot use a device, how then do you maximize on the opportunities that are presented by government online? So it starts there from the grassroots. So these are some of the issues that we are faced with as a government and as a country.
Shoki, are there any exciting new initiatives or announcements that will be made at the summit related to the government's ICT roadmap and, of course, policies to support the digital economy?
The summit is also one place that really influences the policy making. Last year, of course, we dealt with issues around data protection of the country. We dealt around issues of cybersecurity. That's why we do have the National Cybersecurity Strategy currently being rolled out, where we have sessions every Friday between 10 and 11 online to just capacitate the public and institutions on how to protect themselves online. We are also going to launch the National Cybersecurity website, where you can really just get assistance and just prepare yourself in case there's a potential cyber threat or so. And also this time around, like I said, the National Digital Strategy will be now launched this year, so that we really get the work started. We are very behind as a country, there's no doubt, but we need to catch up. So for us to catch up, we really need to be very fast, so that Namibia is not really left behind, but it's actually at a certain level where we can maximize on the opportunities that are online. We speak of different things like e-commerce. People are making content creators today and are making money on places like YouTube, on TikTok. Why can't Namibians also benefit and create employment for themselves? So we need to have these conversations at this summit to influence our policy makers to reach out to big companies like Meta, which owns Facebook, Instagram, and all that. We want these people also to come and really listen to our call. Their argument is that we are a small population. I think we increased now to 3 million at least. So why don't they come and just accept that we are ready as a country to really produce content like any other countries like South Africa. Estonia also has a very smaller population than Namibia, but they're actually benefiting. So we are trying to explore this area so that Namibians can really also benefit from these platforms.
Fantastic. How can ICT experts, companies or institutions get involved in the summit? What are the key dates and deadlines perhaps that they need to be aware of? Are there any?
Not any deadlines. It's still open. We officially launched the summit. The Honorable Minister this afternoon launched the summit. Remember the last time I was here, we had the pledge ceremony prior. We had run about 600,000 in pledges. Today I can gladly and delightfully tell you that we have managed to reach over 1 million in monetary support for the summit, and close to 500,000 Namibian dollars in-kind support. So of course you can see the sector is already coming on board. They see the value that is in the National ICT Summit, because it's the only biggest event on the National ICT calendar.
Yeah. Shoki, just lastly, what is the ministry and its stakeholders' expectations and of course desired outcomes from the summit in terms of driving innovation, collaboration and growth within Namibia's ICT sector? And how will the ministry measure the success and impact of this event?
Definitely ours is really to say that we want digital transformation, not only in the public sector, but in the private sector.
Yeah.
We want our Namibian people to benefit from every opportunity that technology can present to them. So really at this platform, we want all stakeholders to influence in terms, if there's a need for a law, if there's a need for a national strategy or policy, these are the platforms where you get to influence. So really, after that summit, we want to look at what were the main conversations? What should Namibia do to align itself to the international bodies like that we are aligned to, like the International Telecommunication Union, for instance. We are also currently hosting the African Telecommunications Union in Namibia currently as we speak. So we're already playing a role in influencing how decisions should be taken for countries like us that are developing within the ICT sector. But of course, we want to reach a point where we can say we are the first one to introduce 6G. We are still at 4G, but we're still trying to catch up with 5G, you know. We want to speak about artificial intelligence that really makes our work easier, not to take away our jobs. It's here to make our lives easier. You know, even we speak of ethics. For journalists like yourself, there are issues around whether ChatGPT is ethical to use. You understand? We need to have those difficult conversations because it's needed, because ChatGPT perhaps removes the human element from you telling your story. So we need to find ways of how we can balance the usage of artificial intelligence and so forth. So really for us, it's just a continuous conversation. It doesn't end at the summit, it begins at the summit. So that's the platform that we have created as a government of the Republic of Namibia.
Mr. Kanjimi, always a pleasure having you with us. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you so much for having me, and we look forward to having the public during the summit from the 9th to the 11th of September in Windhoek.
Thank you so much. That was Mr. Shoki Kanjimi, MICT spokesperson, speaking to us there. We'll be right back.